This title is narrated with virtual voice, computer-generated narration for audiobooks. Another Chance at Love by Haley-McNeil. Chapter 1. Trey Channing took in the faces of his teenage son and daughter, Elliot and Blaine, and watched them pick at their congealed omelets in the Crystal Creek restaurant. Did they miss their mother, Katrina? Or were they remembering last summer's vacation in Paris? He remembered every detail, his late wife's bright eyes when the family rode to the top of the Eiffel Tower, his son's delight when a group of teens playing soccer in the park invited him to join them, and the scare their daughter gave them when she made friends with a French boy, more like a man, who had wanted her to take a ride with him on his scooter. Trey didn't blame the man for his attraction to Blaine. She was beautiful like her mother. The first time Trey saw Katrina at the venture capital company where they both worked, he told his friend Armando he planned to pursue her until she agreed to marry him. "Can I get you anything else?" The waitress, who had introduced herself as Hannah, stood next to the table. She looked tired despite her carefully styled hair and light touches of makeup. She was tall and trim in her black jeans and a short black apron. Her black t-shirt bore the restaurant's name and logo. The restaurant had a stack of t-shirts near the cash register in case a customer had a hankering for Jimmy's Dine-In, Eat-Out Couture. As a matter of fact, Trey felt Elliot's and Blaine's sharp glances, but kept his gaze on the waitress. "We were planning to attend church this morning." "What, Dad?" Elliot drew out the title Trey had proudly acquired 17 years ago when the doctor laid his infant son in Katrina's arms. Of all the titles Trey had achieved during his life, that was the one he treasured most. "You said we'd go for a hike today." "Yeah, Dad." Blaine gave him her confused expression. Trey looked at his daughter. When he and Elliot had discussed the hike, Blaine had been editing a video on her phone. He hadn't thought she was paying attention. "Because we haven't attended church in a while, I think we can delay the hike for an hour." He looked back at Hannah. "We were wondering if you could recommend a church." "After church, can we take a hike?" Elliot looked worried. Blaine looked from her brother to Trey and nodded vigorously. "I think we can fit that in," Trey said. Hannah flashed a smile at his children. They didn't look at her, but Trey didn't miss the understanding in her eyes. Did she have teenage children? She didn't look old enough. "Of course, I have to recommend my church, Crystal Creek Community," she said with a laugh that Trey liked hearing. He and the kids didn't laugh much these days. They have a great youth group and take lots of trips, like camping and hiking. Right now, we're between pastors. Pastor Bill passed away. The town loved him, so he'll be hard to replace, but the guest pastor is from the next town over, and he's very good. The service starts at 10:30. If you want to go earlier, you can attend Sunday school. Are you planning to stay in Crystal Creek for a while?" "No," Elliot and Blaine said sharply. That they spoke at the same time seemed to surprise them, but Trey remembered them doing that since they'd learned to talk. They didn't look at each other. They kept their gazes on Trey. He didn't want to be too hard on them. Though Katrina had passed away a year ago, the loss was still an open and raw wound. "Well, no matter how long you stay, I hope you enjoy your time in Crystal Creek. You'll find everyone friendly and willing to help." She laid the check on the table. "You take your time. Whenever you're ready, I'll take care of that for you." She flashed a smile of bright white teeth, then moved to the next table. "Remember, Dad, we're on vacation." Elliot stared at Trey but knew to keep his voice low, something Blaine had yet to learn. Trey studied his son. Was he still hurting from the loss of Katrina? While she suffered from cancer, Elliot had refused to spend time with his friends and instead prayed every night. After Katrina died, he seemed to only pray when Trey asked.